All right, now we're going to talk about the open command. And in case that's invoking a groan on your part, you're sitting there thinking, come on, Deke, how hard can the open command be? You choose a command, you navigate to a folder, and you select a file. Well, that's the way it normally works, but in Photoshop, it's quite tricky, thanks to the fact that we have new cloud documents, we have the older model Creative Cloud files, and then you've got your personal files on your local hard drives. And so you get to the open command the standard way, go up to the file menu, choose the open command, or if you're looking at the home screen, you've got this open button. Now, in my case, it's taking me to the old Creative Clouds folder, and I say old because that was the CC model back in CC 2019 and earlier, where you could trade files with mobile devices. For example, if I scroll down a little bit here, I can find this file called Dectangles. You're not going to see it. I'm not providing this to you because it just happens to be one of my Creative Cloud files that I created in Adobe Sketch running on an iPad. And so if I click open, then I am seeing that image complete with all of its layers over here inside the layers panel. And so now if I close out of that file and click on the home button in order to see the home screen once again, that file is going to show up in my list of recently opened files. Another way to work is to click on the open button once again. And this time I'll navigate to my exercise files folder and I'll go ahead and enter the O1 open folder here. And then I could select one of these files such as welcome.pst, which I forced to drop off the list of recently opened files. So I'll just go ahead and open that guy and I will click Don't Resolve in response to the missing fonts warning. And I'll go ahead and close this image as well and click on the home button. And by the way, you don't have to close documents to switch to the home screen. And so if I go ahead and open one of these flat files here, such as welcome.tiff, and I say flat because it doesn't contain any layers, it just contains the flat background item here inside the layers panel. Then I can still switch to the home screen by clicking on that home button on the far left side of the horizontal options bar. And now I'll click the open button once again. And this time I'll click on this button right here, Open Cloud Documents, which is going to switch me to these files that are located on the cloud. And these are files that I saved to the cloud from Photoshop, as we discussed when we look at saving in a future chapter, and as well as files that I created inside Photoshop running on the iPad. And anytime you see one of these little cloud icons right here, it tells you that the file has not been buffered. And so it's never been opened in this version of Photoshop, which means that we're going to see this progress bar right here. And so it can take a few seconds or even up to a minute to open one of these cloud files, depending, of course, on its size, at which point I'm once again seeing the image here inside the document window, as well as the various layers here inside the layers panel. And of course, if you want to open another image, you don't have to switch back to the home screen if you don't want to. You could just go up here to the File menu and choose the Open command, or you have that standard keyboard shortcut of Control-O or Command-O on the Mac, at which point I'm going to now see my cloud documents. If you haven't created any yet, then you won't see any, of course. But the benefit to cloud documents is that you can see them whether you're running Photoshop for Windows, Photoshop for the Mac, or Photoshop on the iPad. But if you'd rather open an image on a local hard drive, then click on this button on your computer, and that'll switch you to the standard open dialog box. And that is how you open images using the open command, or if you prefer, the open button, here inside the latest and greatest version of Photoshop.